Hey everyone, I'm Critbuff, and just as I did last season, I'll be reviewing the weapons from this season now that I've had some time to use them in the Crucible and PvE. I'm continuing this series with my review of the popular Season of Opulence hand cannon, the Austringer. The Austringer is a kinetic adaptive frame hand cannon, which you can earn completing the Menagerie with a Rune of Desire in your Chalice's first rune slot, and any red rune in your second slot. You can determine what masterwork your Austringer will come with by using the appropriate rune in your Chalice's third rune slot. Purple will give you handling, red gives you reload speed, green is range, and blue is stability. The Austringer is clearly inspired by the IS Luna. If you played Destiny 1, then you remember this famous hand cannon, which you could get from completing Crucible matches. The weapon was extremely popular in the original Destiny, and Bungie is clearly paying homage to the IS Luna with the design and ornament for this weapon. And this weapon is a great callback for console players looking for a reliable hand cannon that isn't in the precision frame family. In PvP, the Austringer hits Guardians in the head for 70 damage and 47 to the body. It has a base magazine of 11 rounds and fires 140 rounds per minute. There are currently 5 post-Forsaken legendary adaptive frame hand cannons, which I'll compare the Austringer to for this review. For range, stability, handling, and base reload speed, the Austringer comes in first among all of these categories with values of 51, 63, 52, and 51 respectively. For aim assistance, the Austringer ties for second with the Better Devils and comes in just 1 point behind the Kindled Orchid. It's also tied for the second best place again for recoil direction with a rating of 95, equal to that of the Nation of Beast, but this is coming short of the Orchid's 99. For controller players, the Austringer is fairly sticky up to about 30 meters, but aim assistance after this point falls off rather noticeably. For recoil on controller, the Austringer has a very vertical kick, going slightly to the right. Compared to the most popular option of the 140 RPM hand cannons, the Ace of Spades, it's very similar in its pattern, but less vertical in its climb. Moving on to perks, the Austringer comes with several choices of barrels, but I'm going to stick to what I consider to be the top 3 choices for the sake of saving everyone some time. If you want to maximize your range, then you'll want to go with full bore for a plus 15 to range, with penalties of minus 10 to stability and minus 5 to handling. This will be the top choice for PC players using M&K, as recoil is pretty much a non-issue over there. Of course, that doesn't mean console players looking for a good weapon should be upset if their Austringer rolls with this. It's just that you can learn to control the weapon with the adjustments to its stats if it does. For console players or players on PC with controller, I suggest going with either Hammer Forged Rifling for plus 10 to range or Small Bore for plus 7 to range and stability. During my time with the weapon on controller on PC, Small Bore seems to be the better of the two in my opinion for its additional bonus to stability. For magazine options, there's really only one worth considering for PvP, and that's Accurized rounds for the plus 10 to range. Hand cannons are all about range in the Crucible, and this trait helps you push your weapon's lethality to its limit versus other Guardians. While the IS Luna was never a strong contender for PvE in Destiny 1, the Austringer is thankfully a solid option for this kind of content on both console and PC. I would suggest going with either Appended Mag or Extended Mag, with a preference for Appended Mag. Extended Mag is fine if you have it, I just don't care for its penalty to weapon reload speed. Now, the third perk column is where things get very interesting for this weapon. In this column, we have Outlaw, Subsistence, Air Assault, Eye of the Storm, Triple Tap, and Snapshot Sights. I'm going to talk about Eye of the Storm first because it's possibly the most interesting perk on this weapon. Eye of the Storm is a returning perk from Destiny 1, and it reads as follows. This weapon becomes more accurate and boosts handling as your health gets lower. This perk kicks in when your shields are dropped to half, and those benefits become even more pronounced when you have lower shield and health levels. Most importantly for players on console and controller on PC, Eye of the Storm reduces bloom. To refresh your memory, bloom is the term used to describe the effect of your reticle widening between your shots before tightening up again as the weapon's firing animation comes to its end. Firing again while the reticle is opened up will allow for your shots to go anywhere within that widened cone of accuracy, making it harder to land your shots. As you take damage and proc the perk during your gunfights, Eye of the Storm will tighten up your reticle and allow you to more reliably land your shots in those 1v1s. This can be the deciding factor in those gunfights, and that's not even everything that the perk does for you. For an example of the improved handling, my roll of the Austringer has a base aim down sight speed of 14 frames on PC running at 60 FPS. When the perk first activates at roughly half shield, it drops the ADS speed down to 9 frames, and lowers it again to just 5 frames when my shields are depleted. For comparison, enhanced hand cannon targeting drops my unbuffed ADS speed of 14 frames down to 10. This makes Eye of the Storm a top tier perk if super quick ADS speed is what you prefer from your hand cannons when you're in the middle of those gunfights. The only other perks I feel are worth mentioning in this column are Outlaw and Snapshot. Outlaw is useful on this weapon for the same reason it's useful on all hand cannons, faster reloads, combined with Rampage in the 4th perk column, and you have a pretty solid role for PvE. Snapshot takes 3rd place here. It is only really useful if you don't have any targeting perks on your helmet armor. I would still try to farm for a role with Eye of the Storm or Outlaw, depending on what you want to use Austringer for. For the final perk column, we have several choices, but I feel this really comes down to a choice between Rangefinder or Rampage. Yes, Demolitionist, Zen Moment, and Opening Shot all have their place, but Rangefinder and Rampage are the two standouts here for me. And yeah, Underdog is also in the column and could be paired with Eye of the Storm, but it's not anything I would go for. With Rangefinder, you'll find you'll add about 5 yards to the effective range of this hand cannon, as well as slightly increasing its zoom rating. This also affects bullet magnetism for both PC and console players, and reticle stickiness for controller players. Rangefinder is the final component to achieving a max range Austringer, which is something many players will want to have for PvP. There's a lot to say about the value of a max range Austringer, which can hang with exotic hand cannons such as the Ace of Spades. Extended lethality is always a good thing for this weapon type, and for some players, being able to outrange other hand cannon users is reason enough to go for Rangefinder. On the other hand, there is Rampage. While even 3 stacks doesn't affect the weapon's headshot time to kill, it does make the weapon more forgiving. It does so by allowing for easier kills with better body shot damage, should you miss some of your headshots. Having Rampage combined with Eye of the Storm makes this weapon much more user-friendly in duels in the Crucible. This is a combo I strongly recommend if you find yourself wanting to work on your dueling capabilities in PvP and are tired of more traditional hand cannon choices like the precision frame weapons. Rampage is also the clear winner for PvE perks in this column for the same reason it works for other weapons in patrols, strikes, Menagerie, and forges. I was also asked in my beloved review to include a summary of my recommended roles section in my videos, so I'll be including that in today's review of this weapon. For PvP, I would suggest going with full bore or small bore for your barrel perks, accurized rounds, Eye of the Storm, and either Rampage or Rangefinder depending on your personal preferences. For PvE, I suggest going with small bore, appended mag, outlaw, and Rampage. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching and for your continued feedback on how to improve these videos. I'm always looking to make better content for all of you, and your constructive criticism helps me do that. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.